So today I'll be swapping out the oil pan on my 2002 Duramax. The main reason being the old one's leaking like crazy, and I was like, well, if I'm gonna change the gasket out, I might as well just get a brand new one. So I went with the KB diesel one, just because I like the guy. I think he runs a good shop. It also comes with a new drain plug, and you have another remote oil drain for twin turbos, etc. Comes with all new hardware, everything you need. But the big thing is with the plugs that you have for the sensors and like remote oil drain. You want to put a real nice thread sealant on them, just because they are tapered fittings. So this will just ensure that you get a good seal on them. So right here you can see the lower control arm brace and your skid plate, which bolts to the bottom of it. These are all 15 mils. So just get your impact. You should be able to, actually, hold on. Got on the wrong setting. You should be able to just pop these right out. And there's two more on the front. So once those are popped out, then we'll get on to removing the lower control arm brace, and you can see just how bad my lower oil pan leak is. But yeah, then the next thing will be obviously just draining the oil out. So if you have one of these old diesels, you got the lower control arm off, you should at least know how to do an oil change. This is your oil drain plug right here, and up there is your oil filter. So you'll pop this unit off. It should be a 15 mil. There it is. Yeah, 15 mil for me. And you can see how there's this hump on the bottom of the oil pan, and this will actually hold a bunch of your old dirty oil, which is another reason you go for the upgraded unit. But yeah, we'll go ahead and pop this off and drain out all that old oil. So if you are doing an oil change on a Duramax, this is the filter you want. It's the M1303A. There are quite a few studies done that this is the best oil filter you can get for these trucks if you want them to live and get their full life out of them. So it'll screw on up here. I'll put a little dab of new oil on it around the O-ring so it seals nice, and just snug it up. So after you get your new oil filter on, you're gonna put your drain plug in and clean up this mess, because that's where you're gonna live for the next hour. So going up here, you can see there's a stud here, but there's a whole slew of 10 mil bolts that we got to work our way around to drop this oil pan out of the truck. Some people recommend taking these trans lines off. I'm going to see if I can do it with them on, but if I do have to take them off, I'll show you guys how to bag them off. So you have your oil sensor light, which basically it's a press in on top. And after you press it in on top, you should be able to just snap it out like that. And here's where you'll see we have all of the hardware going across. And you see how this is leaked out and it's spread onto basically everything in the vicinity. A lot of people say you can't get these things out because of the front diff, but if you look, everything's accessible. The trans lines make it tight on this end, but you can still squeeze it in if you just move them out the way, or you have a nice swivel. And then a good dead blow is really all you need, just to bang it a couple times, or, you know, a little razor to get in there and scrape the seal just to break the vacuum. But in my case, I think the seal is completely broken already, because I can see it weeping around the entire thing. These are all 10 mils, so they should all just fly right out. So after you have everything removed, you'll have 15 of these little bolts and 2 nuts that go off of some studs. So until you have that exact number, you got some more in there. So we'll take a dead blow and we'll try and just very gently pop the old oil pan off. And I'll show you what I mean when I say there's a lot of residual oil still in there. So I know earlier I was saying that I thought mine would be easy. Apparently mine's glued on with super glue or something. I've been hitting it with a dead blow for about 30 minutes. No luck, but I took my tap. It's about the same diameter as a 3/8 drive wrench extender. And basically just, you can kind of hear it separating. Hold on, let's see if we can, if I really pry on it, you can see and hear it move. There's a little suction finally starting to come out of this. So this is what I've had to resort to. Again, this is why you just buy a whole new pan, because I'm destroying the old pan getting it out. And that's just kind of the nature of how these things work on old trucks. But we'll get it out and I'll get back to you. All right, so the oil pan finally dropped. It's now what we got to do is take a razor and scrape off all of this old adhesive or whatever they use that goes around the whole thing. And what I'm actually going to do is get a magnet as well and suck out or pull out any tiny little metal shavings if there are any. I guarantee there are some. I mean, it's an old motor. It's got 300,000 miles on it. So we'll take care of that. I'm not going to brake clean anything because I don't want to contaminate it, but I will take a microfiber or paper towel and clean off what I can and make it look as smooth as possible so the new sealant we use will bond right up to it. And then I'll show you what to do with the oil pan, as we have to swap the old sensor out of it and put it onto the new one. So now you'll take your low oil sensor, which is just a 10 mil, and we'll go ahead and zip these out and save these for the new oil pan. I'll probably clean this off. I just want it to be as clean as possible. So get this one popped off over here. And the next thing is you have this clip. These clips are notoriously hard to get off. Normally a little pry bar or a little chisel, hammer into this little gap, and you can eventually just hammer it out. And then we'll go and this will push through to the other side. We'll take this whole assembly and drop it into the new oil pan. So the next thing is you have this O-ring that goes around your oil sensor. So just make sure that this O-ring is in one piece, and you want to re-grease it, and then it'll just shove through here, and then you'll put your metal clip, this little guy, right back through it. So the reason this oil pan is so nice, obviously I stated earlier, the drain's down at the bottom. And what people don't realize is, let's say I fill this up with oil. And this is how it sits in the truck. So you go, you drain your, you're draining your oil, you're doing your oil change, and let's get this exam. You finish, your drain plug stops there, and this is all the oil you have left in here. So you have a little over half a quart of used oil that never gets drained out, and this is where the sediment will continue to build up more and more and more each oil change. So obviously you never get all of the oil out during an oil change, but this is just an extra step that does, it goes a long way with the longevity of your motor. I know they say they have cooling fans. I'm not here for a cooling fan. I don't think that does anything on an oil pan. An oil cooler does something, but just some little fins on an aluminum oil pan aren't going to do anything. But it's just making sure you can drain all the oil out and also just fill a new firm gasket so you aren't leaking oil all over the road too. So like I stated earlier, now you'll just take a razor and you'll just clean off all this crap. I have no idea what adhesive GM used on these things, but it sticks super well. but it's also pretty permeable to the oil they have you use. I'll show you what the best adhesive they recommend is. It's Permatex The Right Stuff. It sets in just a couple minutes. Obviously, I'm still gonna let it sit for, you know, over an hour or two before I fully torque it down. And then I also won't put any oil in it for a good 12 hours. But we're just gonna keep slowly cleaning off the entire surface, so that way we have as much surface area to bond our new oil pan as possible. So this is super straightforward. Literally anyone can do this part. If you want to be super picky, some people even resurface it with like a sanding block. But I'm not going to go that far. The big thing is just making sure you get all the old adhesive off. You don't have any like nicks from digging the razor into it, which you shouldn't, because it's, I mean, the razor isn't as hard of a metal as this is, but you never know. But yeah, you'll just work through this. This might take you another 20 minutes. Again, the hardest part is literally just getting the old oil pan off. Putting the new one on is not an issue at all. So now that you have it almost all the way taken down, obviously with the flashlight, you can see that there's a couple spots I missed, and I can just snag those with my fingertip real quick. But what we're gonna do now is get a paper towel or a shop rag with some isopropyl alcohol on it, and we're gonna wipe this whole surface down, and that'll help us pick up, clean up any last little imperfections like this little oil spot right here. And then we can go ahead and get our new pan ready to be thrown up. So this is the stuff you want. Once you get it around, I'll show you how to do it, but you do a 3 mil. Basically fill in this entire hole and then go around. I like to go around both sides of each hole just in case, just to be careful. But yeah, this stuff dries in 5 minutes. It's the stuff that is most recommended. Most black RTVs will work, but this stuff is supposed to work the best. But I'm gonna put some gloves on so I don't mark up my new aluminum oil pan, and then I'll show you how to put this on. For this stuff, you'll basically just push it down and it'll start dispensing. And I'm here by myself, so I'm gonna turn the camera off and get to work. So after it's all torqued down, what's weird is I was supposed to use the factory nuts here, but there's no possible way that these will go on. So I'll have to update you guys in the future if it starts leaking in those spots. I mean, to be fair, there's tons of clamping force on this already. Another thing also is you have to pull the harness out. Normally you have this little loop thing up there, and you have to pull that straight so you can get more length on the harness to reach all the way around to this corner where it's at. Oh, that's lovely. All right, well that shows me that I might have to redo this entire thing. I might have to go out, buy a stud extractor, or find a way to extract these studs so I can do all the hardware myself, but that's extremely disappointing considering the amount of time I've put into this already. But I will pull the whole thing down and we will restart. Well, round 2, I actually contacted them and they said there were 2 nuts missing, so they sent me the 2 extra bolts. So I pulled it out, stripped the studs out, they sent me the 2 bolts. And right now it looks good. Again, it shouldn't be leaking anymore. No more of this. We'll be cleaning that up, but all you'll do now is put your lower control arm brace back in and you'll be good to go. So getting your lower control arm brace, you'll just pop it back in, line up your bolt holes and send it. You should be good to go. I like to just place them in first and you'll tighten all of them down to basically as tight as you possibly can. Again, they're all 18 mils. These are also 18 mils with, they all have nuts on the opposite side. So you'll need at least 2 wrenches. But yeah, it's pretty simple, but it does pay dividends on the drag strip or pulling. So once you have these two 18 mil bolts tighten up to the nuts till there's no turning back, and these two going through their bolt sleeves all the way to the other side also tighten till there's no turning back. Your lower control arms are braced all the way to each other. And the only other thing you could really do to strengthen these up is put some new lower control arm bushings in, which I actually have ordered right now, and I will do, but I'm still waiting for my coilovers to come in, because I'll go ahead and pull out this whole torsion bar assembly and this cross member right here, so that way it's easier to drop the transfer case and transmission whenever I need to work on that. It'll also drop another like 200 pounds out the truck, and it'll ride better. So it's a win-win-win in every scenario. And let's be honest, coilovers look cooler. So yeah, we got it all put back together. Looks nice, and I hope this helps someone out.